Welcome in once again to the Yugioh Fresh Off the Press community, where we analyze the current pulse, trends, and forecast of the Yu-Gi-Oh markets. We're here to feed that endless eternal Yu-Gi-Oh cardboard market watch addiction, guys. You guys already know. Welcome in. The channel continues to grow. It's all thanks to you guys. Don't forget to ring that subscribe button and the bell icon. Yeah, guys, don't forget about that. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Immediately, we're going to get into the top 5 budget decks that you can compete at locals with, in my humble opinion. Right now, everyone's talking about Unchained, everyone's talking about the meta, and the top tier, usually most expensive decks, they're just up there in price. It just is what it is. Usually Yu-Gi-Oh is pay to win some way, somehow, some form, some shape. You know what I mean? So keeping that in mind, we're going to attack the top 5 best budget decks, in my humble opinion, moving forward into the new format that we're in right now, the current format. Guys, keep in mind that some of these decks have more expensive versions. So what we did is just put expensive budget per se, so in between, and then cheap budget, just to categorize it that way. So many deck options, so I'm gonna just choose 5, the 5 that I think that are most budget, and one that I actually I'm building it. That's what I wanted to say. One of these decks I'm actually building right now, and the other one I'm actually playing. So as you guys already know, let's dig in. Let's start with, let me see, none other than, before we actually go into the deck, don't forget, some of these decks in the, Cash Tiras, the Bistio Engine, what else? A Labyrinth. All of these decks are getting cheap, but they might get either slapped or touched or hit on the ban list, the adventure package as well. So we're going to discuss those top 5 budget decks now with the reprints, but that's after the ban list. I'll probably get to one of these videos, so stay tuned for that. Right now, let's start with Scrub Terrors. You guys already know Scrub Terror gang. Let's go. I'm playing Scrub Terrors right now, the pure version. I mean, what? Sub Terrors haven't had a considerable top since last year. That's crazy, man. Need to go to one of these events and make some noise. But guys, usually the most competitive version is a Guru Dragoon. So Dragoon Control, Guru Dragoon, whatever you want to name it, where you play Sub-Terrors with Red Eyes Dragoon Dragon. So love it, right? That's the peak, that's the high, that's the ceiling. But right now they're 15s a pop, so that would just be essentially after taxes 50 billies just to get a playset of Dragoon. So I'm gonna go pure, the budget, the one that I play right now. So guys, the Hidden City is the most expensive card in the deck. Literally, that's crazy. A 5 to 8 billion, 5-year deal, 8 billion market price. That's for the secret rare, high and max rarity. But if you want cheap, look, 3 to 4 billies for the super rare, you can play the deck. 10, 12 shekels gets you a playset of the field spell, the most expensive card in the deck for pure Sub-Terrors. You can't make this stuff up. It's cheap. Then you have Sub-Terror Behemoth Umastrix. This is the most expensive monster in the deck, guys. 5 billies, and you play one. You play one, guys. You play one. This card was 8 to 10s forever, and now no one's playing this deck but me and maybe a couple of you guys out there. We're trying to live to fight another day. 550 eventually goes up to 6s. Cheap. Look at that. 15 bucks gets you a playset of the field spell and a copy of this. Can't get cheaper than that. And we have Sub-Terror Nemesis Archer. You have options. You have a super rare from an OTS pack, or you come here after this dump and get the first Ed OG max rarity secret rare print for what? None other than 2 billies a pop. You only run one. I only run one. You know what I mean? So that's 2 billies, man. Cheap. Then you have Guru. Man, I wish I had a secret rare of this card. Ooh, man. Look at this card. Just continues to dump. No one's playing Scrub Terrors except your boy Jay from Fresh Off the Press in 2023. You can't make this stuff up. Look, you have a couple of one-ofs here. It quickly does, go back up to a billy. So that's where you can find the playset here per se, and that 4th extra copy. So yeah, the card is a billy, super cheap. 3 billies gets you a playset of this card. You can't go wrong with Guru Control. Then the trap, man. This trap is just amazing. 4 effects, stays on the field. You choose one once per turn. Just broken, man. I love playing this trap. Wins me so many games. It's not even funny. Look, quarters here, cheap. 28 cents, 30 cents. Guys, if you need a budget deck that you can compete with at locals, you don't have to look far none other than Sub-Terrors. I know some people don't like Scrub Terrors. Like, trap deck control is not fun. That takes no skill. You flip floodgates, yada, yada. Hey, There's different play styles in Yu-Gi-Oh. The good thing about this deck archetype, it never got truly hit on the ban list, is basically pure full power sub-tier still out there. You know what I mean? Sometimes it struggles against kaijus and competing, you know, with the high tier decks and things of that nature. But honestly, if you win the dice roll, go first, you know, or if you have a good side deck going second, then, you know, you might compete. And that's all that matters, guys. If you want to go extremely budget, but you want a competitive deck, look, you have an Omni Negate from the hand or field. It's just broken. Fiend 20 cents, quarters, guys. Play sets for Billies left and right. You can't get none other, you know, cheaper than this, guys. Look, 60 decks, main deck, 30 bucks, extra deck. That's a lie, man. This ain't no $100, man. I could build this deck with 50 bucks and live to fight another day. Guys, we have True King Dinos. Just a quick honorable mention here. Whoa, what is this doing here? There we go. Ground Zeno is an expensive card. So again, you know, let's put Dinos right here. Sub-terrors, I don't see them down here. You know, we're so scrub terrory that we can't even be on here. I mean, I don't know if you guys see Guru. If you do, then maybe I need to draw him in here or something. No luck, though. Oh, scrub terror players, no luck. But hey, Dinos, man. Dinos is really competitive, of course. A lot of people playing the more expensive versions with Ground Zeno, which is dumping back down to 23, 24s. So that is nowhere to be budget, obviously. But where is it? I thought I had the thing pulled up. Let me see. Conductor. Let me see. It might be here moving forward. Just my bad. I had it pulled up, but where is it? Right here. The structure deck. Boom. So this is where the budget is at. You can come over here, check. Dino's always topping consistently. A couple of months since, you know, here it says that they haven't topped, but $82 total average. So there is a budget version. Usually coming from cards like these. Billy here, Billy there. You know, Conductor's a Billy. Miscellaneousaurus is cheap. You know, all of the Fossil Dig, you have cheap versions. So deck is extremely cheap if you really want to go budget and play commons and things of that nature. You know, extra deck you have to, you know, might shed out a couple of shekels, but other than that, Dinos are super cheap and super competitive. They've always remained so. Of course, man, Miscellaneous still hit on the ban list. That's unfortunate that it's only at 1, but who knows what happens with this card. But yeah, I mean, the structure decks itself, they're themselves, they're really expensive, but the cards individually, they're pretty cheap, the singles. So easy to pick up a Dino deck. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Then we have Trap Tricks. Again, guys, don't forget. I try and leave a link in the description down below for this website. Hopefully I don't forget. But look, main deck $45, $30 here, average of $100 a pop. You can probably build it cheaper than that. Look, just August, this past month, someone got first place in a regional in South Portland. That's insane, man. Wow. So guys, make sure you keep it in mind, an average of 100 billies, but cheap, man. You can come over here, buy 3 structure decks, basically gives you everything you need per se. Play sets of everything you might need. Sarah, you do have the secret rares and the ultra holographics, but look, commons at 15 cents. Then you have Rafflesia. You have 4 versions with even a common if you really want to go budget. What else do we have here? We have Mermelio. That it's, yeah, super rare, looks beautiful, dumping down, but you have commons and rares and just cheap versions. And you have this Dionea, also cheap with 5 versions as well, commons and rares readily available. So yeah, this deck is super cheap, super easy to get. Of course, there's traps that aren't here and things of that nature that deck obviously runs, like staples and whatnot, but deck is overall super cheap. Restructured decks essentially get you in, and you know, it's a pretty competitive deck. As you can see, last month topping a regional. So where's Trap Tricks here? Let me see. Boom, right here. Let's put it at the super cheap level right there. So let me see. We have Branded, guys. Don't forget about Branded. You know, a deck that, again, in the more expensive range, people are combining it with Chimera. So we're going to put it right here. You know, if you want to play the Chimera version, but still be sort of budget per se. But, you know, there's truly budget options if you actually stick to the structure decks. You know, most of the cards you need come here. You have a super rare here. You have, you know, so many great staples and your extra deck monsters and your main deck monsters in common, just super cheap. A lot of great value in this structure deck. Again, just 12 billies. You buy 3 of these, 40, 45 bucks, you're in. You have a play set of structure decks. You have most of the cards you need. Then you would just come and get Branded opening. I would honestly be going for the Prismatic Secret at around 3 to 4 billies. That Branded Fusion Ultimate Rare. Wow, it looks nice. It bumped up to 60s, now back down under 50s. That's crazy. Look, you even have Albion the Branded Dragon. I think I talk about it back here. Super cheap. Prismatic from the 2022 tins. Can't go wrong. I mean, all these cards, as you can see here, small spike, but still readily available compared to so many other expensive decks. Look, the super rare under ability, 2/4 a pop, can't go wrong. Easy peasy. Definitely a budget deck to keep in mind. Guys, don't forget, link in the description down below. Don't forget to check us out. Have one big happy family in the Discord, short form content. Shout out to Semi-Limited Podcast, Haver. Great episodes there, man. Check those out if you're new to the channel. And then our very own podcast. Right here, we have a couple of episodes, available. Episode 3, we're working back in the lab hard, so stay tuned for that. And come over here. You don't have to be a Spotify member, none of that. Just click play, sorting through cards, things of that nature. You guys won't regret it. And episode 3 is around the corner. Thanks for those 5-star reviews. You guys are amazing. Don't forget to follow if you actually have an account on over there, as it really does help out. And guys, don't forget to destroy that subscribe and like button, as it really does help out the channel. Half of you guys can't be watching and not subscribe. Help your boy out, Jay. It really does help out me and the channel. And for you guys to stay tuned to giveaways, guys. 3 Megatons, 3 coming to a theater near you. Jay is handing 3 of these out. Make sure you stay tuned, for that. At 2.5K, that's already, I can smell it. It's crazy how the channel is growing, so stay tuned for that. Click that bell. That's all you need to do. Participate, so you can stay informed for live stream information, podcast episode releases, and the giveaway, as previously mentioned. And don't forget, none of this content is official financial advice, is for entertainment purposes only. Continue to show me the cards and deck profiles and, budget decks. Jay, here we can see Sword Soul decks, guys. Look, average it says of $200. I mean, but really, honestly, a lot of these cards have budget options. The most expensive pieces are going to be obviously Moye, Sword Soul, Emergence, and Grandmaster, I believe so. Let's dig in. Moye here as an ultra rare, the cheaper version, 5 shekels, $15 a playset, not bad to compete. Then we have Emergence here with a spike off the 3 Billy lows, pushing up to 4 Billies a pop for this card from Mama. Magnificent Mavens, great reprint, and very broken card in the deck, much needed. Then you have Yugioh, Sword Soul Grandmaster Yugioh, from Burst of Destiny Bold. And yeah, look, the secret rare, as you can see, is $4. Just wanted to mention it, but again, if you just want access to the card, Mama, it's a 1 to 2 Billy card. Wow, I didn't know that card was worth that. What? That's crazy. For Mama, these were freemium. No one cared about these. But yeah, still cheap, still budget if you want to play a competitive deck. And then you have Sword Soul Sinister Sovereign as well as a secret rare at around a billy and some change. Not bad, but I think you even have a more budget. Look at that. A quarter gets you this card. You can't fight against those prices. And then you have Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign Qingying, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Wow, look at that strong spike off the 2 Billy low in the chart. But here you can see you still have a couple of one-ofs and a couple of deals before the card goes up to 3 Billies. Not too many listings. That's a first at OG Ultra. But again, same deal in Mama. You have about a Billy Ultra rare. Not bad. Make sure that you keep that in mind. Super budget. Of course, there's some extra deck monsters, things of that nature. But overall, the deck is budget and you can clearly compete at the local level. So when we come back here, we put Sword Soul. Where is it? Sword Soul. Boom, right here. As we can see, let me see. Let's put Dino here. Dino's without the ground Xeno, Dino's super cheap. So let's put it here. And then Sword Soul, it could get up there in price. Moyes are 5 a pop. That's already 15s right there. And then the emergences are 4s. That's 12. So that's almost $30 in just 6 cards. So, we'll consider expensive budget per se, but overall it's still pretty cheap. Then you have Flunderies. This is another deck that got extremely cheap right now. These averages are not considering the recent Megaton reprint of Advent of Adventure. So with that, the deck is extremely cheap. You can compete even at regional and YCS levels, and especially at locals. Again, as you can see, this used to be the expensive card and now it's pretty cheap. And then Empen, all of these. This one has a reprint, cheaper one, super, I think, and then everything else is super, super cheap. Honestly, one of the cheapest decks, right now that you guys can pick up. As you can see here, Flunderies and the Advent of Adventure as a prismatic secret under a Billy, guys. $2.50. You get a playset of this. Boom, you're in. Used to be worth what? 10s, 15s. It's crazy. And then Empen, as you can see, the secret is worth $3.50, but you have a super rare from 2022 tins, massively overprinted for under a quarter. I mean, this deck is really, really cheap. It's crazy how cheap this deck is now that we got a prismatic secret reprint of this card. Just pretty impressive, man. Honestly, this deck competes at a high level. And look, all these cards are extremely cheap. Make sure you keep that in mind. Another one is, before we get to that, where is it? Right here, the birdies. We're going to put them extremely cheap, man, honestly. Then we're going to go with Mech Knights, guys. The last deck that we're going to be talking about today. Remember, the honorable mention was Dinos. But again, Mech Knight Invoke usually, always pops up here and there as a rogue deck. Used to be meta at one point, just a broken deck. So it's like a toolbox. So many things that you can do, going first with the Invoke Engine, going second with the Mech Knights, and they're pretty cheap right now. Honestly, I'm picking up this deck, guys. I didn't know until I started picking these cards up myself. I'm like, you know what, man? I want to build Mech Knight Invoke. Just have it as an alternative to Scrub Terrors. You know what I mean? And these are cheap because they got common reprints and rares and things of that nature. Cards used to be worth money, and now they're super cheap. Look, let's clean this up janitor style. We can see here that this, well, you have a couple of deals here, but after that, the card does go up to $4 to $5 billies. But I got these around here, like $2.5 each, so they were pretty cheap. But again, this is just first ed OGs. I just like going for those, especially when they're this cheap. But you have commons. Look, you have commons right here, super cheap. Same for blue sky. You see the curvature going down. Unlims at under $1 billion. And then let's see here, first eds at around $2 billion. That's cheap, man. Super cheap for the Mech Knight engine. And all the other Mech Knight cards are pretty cheap. What else? Avermax is cheap as well right now with the reprints. All these Mech Knights, super cheap, man. That's crazy. And then you have Invocation, the Invoked Engine. Obviously, you have a lot of prints, but budget. Look, you have a gold rare, yikes, but super rare at $1 billion and some change. This card used to be money forever. Now, I personally got the first at OG Secrets, because they were $6. That's cheap in my opinion. $20 for that, not bad at all. And then you have the OTs, bro. If I could trade for these, that'd be lovely. I just want 2 of these, man. That card was fresh, off the press, just like the channel, man. But honestly, this card, super rare, holographic, extremely budget for this engine. Then Alistair, same deal, all copies above $2 billion. But I went with the secret at 4s, max rarity, look beautiful, but you have more budget options, for half the price as well. And then, wow, CR at $11, that's crazy. Then you have the secret rare at $1 billion. For the extra deck, Alistair the Invoker of Madness, super cheap. And you have a ultra rare. You really wanted a holo print, but at 2/4 a pop, so you can't go wrong with this deck. Same for the Invoked Engine. The extra deck monsters, Mecha Ball, I went with the first at OGs because I wanted that shiny bling. But look, you have one at under $1 billion, man. A Macabre or Mecha Ball under $1 billion as a super rare. And then everything else, Radigen, even the secrets are just $1 billion. All these other cards, they're freemium, honestly, man. So this is a great deck that I'm currently building. Want to build it, with a toolbox in mind, like going second cards like Dark Root or more, maybe evenly, things of that nature, hand traps, and make a pretty spicy Invoke Mech Knight deck. But I'll put that profile up later on when I actually play it at locals and things of that nature. But yeah, the deck certainly competes. So when we come back here, we can slide this in so. I mean, it depends, Just wanted to slide it in there. Depends. I mean, you do have the options to still be cheap and play a little bit of a higher rarity. But all in all, the deck is budget. But there might be some extra deck cards that might, cost a little bit. So yeah, I mean, that's the balance right there. If you want to go really cheap, I would go Trap Tricks or Flunderies right now. If you want to go so, I would do, a budget version of Dino or a Mech Knight Invoke. And then Sword Soul or Branded would be the more expensive, but still very budget decks for you to compete at locals. Let me know what you guys think down below. Again, there's so many different decks, guys. So many decks I could have put here, things of that nature. Just wanted to limit it to 5 and just give my opinions. And also, get that discussion going with you guys. So let me know what you think about today's video. Hopefully you guys, found value in it, and yeah, man, if you made it this far out into the video, you guys continue to be the straight MVPs. Thank you so much for your time, for your support, and for your attention. Stay fresh.